What's going on, Saints fans? This is Saints Banter coming to you Tuesday night, February 7th. Siena coming off a big road win at Iona tonight. They win 81-79 at Iona tonight. Huge road win, not an expected win. The Saints came into this game, opened as a 6.5-point underdog, went down to 5. Not sure if Vegas possibly heard that Nico was playing, or maybe they thought that Jimmy was suspended after getting thrown out of the last game at home against Canisius. But I would have thought that the line would have been a little bit bigger, considering Siena coming off getting blown out at home against Canisius. But Siena goes down to New Rochelle in Iona Junior College's nice little Heinz gymnasium and takes out Iona 79-81. We got Billy with me tonight. Billy, your initial thoughts on the game?
Obviously, I think it was a big win. The Nico being freed is definitely a nice punch for the team. After that blowout loss to Canisius, I didn't know what to expect. And, I was happy the team performed up to par after that first half. And who would have thunk it after the 75-footer shot by Iona at halftime?
Yeah, that was unbelievable. So Siena went into the half down 10. And from the point, I believe it was 43-57. At one point, the Saints went on a 28-12 run to take a 3-point lead. And I mean, Iona battled back. It was kind of a back and forth game for the last, 5 minutes there. After Siena took the lead, Siena really tried hard to give the game away. With 29 seconds left in the game, they were tied, and coming down the court, Quiz turns the ball over and then fouls, puts Iona on the line. Thankfully, they only hit one, and Siena is able to come down. Quiz gets fouled, hits 2 free throws, and then Shivers really sealed the deal with 2 big free throws at the end. What are your thoughts on Shivers tonight, Billy?
I think Ashanti Shivers was probably my player of the game. I mean, if you told me a stat that he would score 11 points, have I think 3 or 4 rebounds. Let me check the box on that real quick.
3.
Yeah, I've ended up with 3 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 turnover. I would say we have a pretty good shot at winning. I mean, on that note where you talk about Quiz with a turnover, we had J.O. with a turnover coming out of that timeout. At that point, I thought that was going to seal the deal for Siena. And for them to battle and still respond and come away with a win is definitely a huge, huge pickup. Maybe it can be the turning point for the season.
Absolutely. And let's talk about Nico tonight. I mean, Nico came off the bench, literally accounted for all 14 of the bench points. If you take Nico out of the mix, the bench combined for
0 points.
Yeah, 1 assist and 1 rebound, and that being Friday, Fisher, and Smith. And I think you had said that those were really your keys to the game, those 3, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I said if they have to play big minutes, we were going to lose and lose big. The fact that they didn't have to put in a lot of minutes meant that our seniors stepped up. Our big men didn't get in foul trouble early. And our guards actually were able to play with their guards. So I did think the keys of the game were being able to use our best 5, or now that Nico's back, 6 to the max.
Yeah, and I think it'll be nice too. Hopefully getting Richard into the mix. This is the 3rd game in a row that he's missed due to the ankle injury. I think this ankle injury is definitely a lot more serious than any of us really thought. I was kind of surprised after that Iona game where he injured it at home. To hear that he was going to be out, and now being out for the 3rd straight game, a little concerning. So I really hope that he can recover from that. I know he hasn't practiced in a while. So what are your thoughts? I mean, if we can get, a solid 7 with Nico back in, really buying into this team concept, and adding Richard into the mix, I mean, that'd be a pretty solid 7, hopefully moving into the MAC tournament.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Nico buys in, he obviously is the most talented player on the team. I look at his stat line, and he was 5 of 12, 2 of 7 from 3. He started out hot early, probably some adrenaline flowing there. I think his legs weren't underneath him. But I mean,
I was just going to say, I think a couple of those threes were a little bit forced. He kind of got into a little bit of a pissing match with, I can't remember if it was Much. It was in the first half where Much, hit one in his face, was kind of jarring at him, and he went down and he wanted to hit a 25-footer. So, that's kind of the immaturity. So I think a couple of the threes were forced, but definitely hit a couple big ones too. Not to interrupt you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he is. He's an emotional player. Jimmy says it all the time, but that's a fact. He's an emotional player. I think if we can get him going, and if Richard can come back and kind of get back into the swing of things healthy, we could be a good team. I mean, we are a dangerous team if we hit shots. We've said it all year. I'll stand by it. If we hit shots, we are a dangerous team.
Yeah, and if I read you the stat lines as far as, I know you brought this up before we went live. Siena, identical from the field and 41.2%. My big thing, and I think was the difference maker in the game, Siena from the line, 18 of 19, 94.7%. I don't know for sure, but that's got to be the best that they've shot from the line in a game this season. Iona just went cold in the second half. They hit 5 threes in the first half and only 1 3-pointer in the second half. They ended the game 6 of 22, 27.3% from 3-point for the game. I think that was a huge difference maker in the second half as Siena went on to outscore Iona by 12, 48-36 in the second half. So that was huge. Then I know you touched on the rebounds a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Shutting them down and making them go cold was huge. I'm not sure if we did it or if they just went cold. I know we did mix up our defenses. We seemed to extend our defense out a little bit and get pressure a little early on them. Probably played into why they missed so many threes at the end. But for me, clean the glass. I mean, 45 rebounds to 29 rebounds, that's huge. Look at 29 defensive rebounds, 29. That means when they missed, we did not give them many more opportunities. I look at field goals attempted. We shot 68. They shot 61. So we actually shot more and had more opportunities than them. Against an Iona team, that doesn't happen much.
They only had 6 offensive rebounds, so not a ton of second chance point attempts for Iona tonight. So that was huge.
Yeah, I think where we miss Richards the most is definitely a backup point guard. You're looking at 15 turnovers. We're going to have to cut them down come March in order to make a run here in the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like you said already, Shivers, huge game, 2 big threes. Levon, scrappy game, 14 points. J.O. led us with 17 points. But again, I mean, J.O., I love him. I hate him. He drives me crazy sometimes. Just too many stupid mistakes. Not going up strong sometimes, and then some of the turnovers, it's baffling sometimes how he just does not, come with that beast mode mentality. With his size, he can dominate anybody in this league, and it drives me crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, J.O., love him, hate him. He's a necessary evil. He cleans the glass. He takes some big defensive assignments. When he's on, he's unbelievable. But I agree. For a senior to make the mistakes that he makes, dribble a ball off your foot, go up weak around the rim with a chance to take the lead, those are all things you expect out of freshmen, sophomore, and underclassmen, not your senior that you expected to come in and dominate the MAC this year. So I'm a little disappointed in him, but again, he does his part. I think he has 17 tonight, which is another big game out of him. Jordan Washington does not match up well with J.O., and we've seen it in 2 affairs here. I think what it's going to come down to in the tournament is, can we find an answer for McGill? Like, McGill had another huge night, 21 points, 9 of 14 shooting. We're going to have to find an answer and find a way to shut him down. I thought it would be Smitten, but after tonight, you saw that he's not really up for the task.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Smithen's really kind of just been up and down this year. Have some really good games. I really like him defensively. Hasn't really shown the offensive promise that we thought we were going to get out of him this year. But again, I think with Richard coming back, that'll take a little bit of the pressure off of Smithen, and he can get back to his role that he had before the injury to Richard. And again, I was just going to throw out there, Jordan Washington, just can't stand him as a player. I mean, fuck him. He's never fouled and thought it was his fault. He's got cheap shots here and there. The kid's had a past of, shitty behavior off the court. Just can't stand him as a player. Definitely not the kind of player that I would want on my team. But, of course, he fits in perfect to the IJC system that Cluis has running down there. Not sure what your thoughts are there.
You know better than anyone, I'm not a big Jordan Washington fan. I feel like he's been on the team for about 10 years now. They won't post his age on the website. He's definitely a punk. He's thrown punches at people before. He whines about every call. He's not the type of player I'd want on my team. I'm glad he's not representing our school. Although he is very, very, very talented, I will not take that away from him. He is an extremely talented baseball player. He just does not, or basketball player, excuse me. He just does not have the best head when you're talking about playing in college.
No. And yes, I mean, he's definitely a talented player. He's a big kid. He's a good athlete. He's a good shooter from the outside. He's just can't stand him as an actual, person. So we will take a second to pause. We here at Saints Banter want to say we apologize. We started off hot. We had our first episode a couple weeks ago, and we really wanted to commit to once a week, but we actually have an announcement to make. Matt, or Lo as we call him on the show every now and then, he actually welcomed into the world his first child, and the newest Siena Saints fan on Friday. So we really wanted to record our second episode of Saints Banter, the weekly podcast that we really want to do, but life threw a curveball at us. So we want to just take a quick minute to congratulate Matt and his newest Siena fan addition to the world. Billy, I'll give you a second to shout him out.
Congratulations, Lo. You got to bring another fan into the misery that we've been facing the last 7 years. But no, we're excited for you. And congratulations. That's what slowed us down a little bit. We were trying to give him some time to get back, but he's out again tonight. Hopefully next week he's back on par with us.
Absolutely. So we plan on recording our second episode this week. We will definitely have that out to you guys before the end of this week. And then we will also have the post game on Saturday after the Marist game. So that's a good transition into looking ahead. So I think, this was kind of like a fair trade. I think everybody wanted to get that win at home against Canisius. That game turned out to be an absolute shit show. I think they were down 15 at half, fought back a little bit, got within 3 in the second half. Never really any closer. It might have been 2, but that game, unfortunately, was a huge disappointment. So we weren't going to relive that. I think everybody's had their fair share to, bitch about that game. But looking ahead, I don't know that anybody thought that this game was going to be a win. It was going to be a tough game. Nico coming back was definitely a huge surprise, so we'll definitely take that. And then we move to Saturday. We are at Marist down in Poughkeepsie. Marist, not a very good team this year. I think a game that Siena absolutely has to have.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Must win.
Yeah, absolutely. Marist, I mean, Hart's having a good year. He's a stud. But other than that, just
look, let's be honest.
No way.
They have one player, Hart. Got to worry about him. It's a rivalry game. Always makes it a tough game. Jimmy does not have a great record down there. It'll be a tough battle, but it's a must win. We can't falter. Let's hope we can take the momentum from the Iona game here and pull together with a win.
And they stole their win down there last year. Definitely no game that they deserve to win down there last year. And then a game that I think we've all been looking forward to, and we've been kind of highlighting on the schedule the entire season. Monday night, we've got Monmouth at home. Monmouth, the top of the conference, already at 20 wins. They're at 20-5. Definitely a clear-cut favorite to win not only the regular season, but also the tournament come March. And I don't know. What are your expectations for that game, Bill?
Siena losing by 25. No, seriously.
All right.
If Siena can actually show up and hit shots, we will be in the game. But it comes down to more than that. I mean, obviously, Robinson's going to get calls. He's going to get his points. we just can't let him go off. He's going to get his 15, 18. But if he goes off for 25, 28, 30, it's going to be blowout loss. I'm curious to see who can guard Robinson on the team. I'm still hopeful Smitten can be the guy off the bench to guard him up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be huge as far as who's going to match up with him. I think that's going to be a really tough game to win, especially seeing the performance that Siena put up at home against Iona and Canisius. They just have not played well against the top half of the MAC this year. So it'll be interesting to see. Also, with this game, St. Peter's lost the other day. So now there is a 3-way tie for third place in the MAC. However, due to tiebreakers, Siena still sits, if the season was to end today, at that 5 seed. So 3 teams at 8 and 6. You got Siena, St. Peter's, and Canisius. Iona has distanced themselves by a game at 9 and 5, and then again you got Monmouth sitting at the top of the conference at 12 and 2. I don't think anybody's catching them, but that's where it really hurts, losing that game at home against Canisius, because you'd have the Saints sitting at 9 and 5 right now, tied with Iona, and Canisius at 7 and 7. Behind St. Peter's. So Siena would be sitting by themselves in third place, and tied with Iona now with the tiebreaker. So that was a tough loss on Saturday. Yeah,
I mean, that's been the ups and downs of the season all year. I mean, we joked about it during this game. Siena likes to tease us. They like to make it close. You look at the game halfway through, you're always like, we're out of it. By the end of every game, they're somewhat in it. They win games they shouldn't win.
Every game that they go up big and they're up 10, 12, 15 points, they always let the other team back in it. So, I mean, I guess, that's college basketball, but, I mean, good God, this team just loves to be a tease.
It is a game of runs. I say it every year, it's a game of runs. It's just that this team's never quite figured out how to step on somebody's throat and really put somebody away, which is very frustrating. And they've never really figured out how to win the games they have to win. This Marist game, that's what scares me about this Marist game. This group has not figured out how to win the game they have to. You look at the Canisius game. Have to win that game. Want to compete for a top 3 spot, have to win. And to not come through to win there was kind of shocking in a way for a senior team. But with the way this year's gone, it really didn't surprise me.
And this team, too, it's funny because going into tonight, I was not chalking tonight's game up as a win by any stretch. I thought it was going to be a very tough game to win. I thought if Iona got out early, it was going to be over. I think Iona was up 16-8. They doubled us up pretty early in the game. So I didn't have a lot of hope tonight. And then they come back and sneak out this game. Coming into tonight, I was saying to myself, they've got to go 6-1 over the next 7 to even have a winning record this season. And then they win this game. So now you look at the schedule and you're at Marist. I feel like a game you have to have. So I would hope that we chalk that one up as a win. And then you move into Monday. Again, game we talked about, Monmouth at home. If they can somehow sneak out a win in that game, which I'm in no way confident that they can do that, the Final 4 games set up pretty nice for the Saints. 3 at home against some of the bottom feeders in the MAC, Manhattan, Niagara, and Marist. 3 games that if they can't win those, I have no confidence in them going into March. And then I think it'll be a pretty good test going out to Monmouth to see if they can keep up with Monmouth out in West Long Branch, New Jersey. What are your thoughts on the last few? And then what do you have for the final 6 games as far as a record, Billy?
Well, I think if Siena can get their top 5 scoring, you look at tonight, five of their top 6 in double figures. If we can do that, if Brett, he had 9 points, if he gets that double figure, our 6 best players score in double figures. We do that night in, night out. We're a tough out. The rest of the season, I'm going to go out on a whim and say we're going to go 5-1. We're going to steal one against Monmouth, ESPN2 at their barn to get to 500.
Yikes. That's
Nico goes off for 42.
Holy crap. What liquor did you get into tonight? But we shall see.
What can I say? I'm drinking the Jimmy Patsos Kool-Aid after the win down in New Rochelle.
Did you buy a car from him too? My God. So that'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. Huge win for the Saints tonight. Not going to take anything away from them. They moved to 8-6 in the MAC. Whopping 11-14 on the season. So Saturday night, Saints back in action down at Marist, down in Poughkeepsie. Us Saints Banter guys plan on being down there to watch it live. Hopefully a lot of the Saints fans can make the hour and 15-minute trip down the thruway from Albany to support the Saints. Let's get to 9-6 on the season. And then, like we said, we will be recording a episode 2 of Saints Banter, our normal podcast this week. Hopefully we will have that out to you within the next few days. We've got a couple fun little things that we got with Royal Rumble and the WWE in season. We did a Siena Saints Royal Rumble. Each one of us did our own, so we will share those with you, and we'll see out of the coaches and players who comes out on top. So should be a good episode. And then we've been actually talking to a lot of different guests that will be appearing come right around tournament time, and we look to bring those shows to you guys. So thanks for listening. We appreciate all the love that we've been getting on Twitter at Saints Banter. If you have any suggestions, Gmail, we are saints.banter@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. And that's all we got for tonight. Go Saints. Billy, I'll turn it over to you to close this out.
Go Saints. Big win tonight. And, we'll get back to you this week. We'll talk about welcoming Nico back, some of the recruits that have signed in, and have a little fun. We asked for some questions. If anybody out there who listens can get us some questions, it's always fun to answer questions from the fans. So let us know your thoughts. Thank you.
Have a good night.